Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to spend some time here at the Chicken Coop Gardens, and we are going to plant some beautiful perennials that are mainly going to be rabbit resistant because I do deal with some rabbit issues up here at the Chicken Coop. So we're going to be planting 3 different types of alliums. We're going to be planting a perennial grass that it can be a little questionable on your rabbit resistant. We're going to plant a tender perennial grass that is deer and rabbit resistant. And we are going to be adding a brand new rudbeckia to the area to give me massive color explosion in the heat of summer. And we are going to be pruning our El Nino. That is right. We have got a gorgeous El Nino. That is that Chatalpa from Proven Winners. It is like in high demand. People love this thing. It is time for me to prune mine, so I'm going to walk you through on how to prune it. So let's just jump right on in here. Let me show you the plants that I have. Kind of have everything laid out right here at the base of the gardens. So what we're going to do, we'll just start here first. We have got I call it a tender perennial. This is from Southern Living. This is that Platinum Beauty Lamandra. An absolutely like stunning grass. This will be a good size for us. It loves the heat. That's why it's a tender perennial, because I had this up at the berm when we first put the berm in, and it did not survive that winter. However, it was also on a north-facing slope, so it really got pounded. But your Platinum Beauty is perfect for containers anywhere from full sun to part shade. Of course, it has that beautiful upright habit to it. It's going to be basically like a 3x3, and it is hardy in zones 8 to 10. I am a zone 8, so we shall see. We're going to add this. I don't know exactly where we're going to add this within the gardens, but I'm very excited. I have 3 of them right here. I love the color. I love the structure to it, because it's not, you know, some grasses you don't want to run your hands through. This is a very kind of a silky texture to it, so it is beautiful. Now, the perennial grass that we're going to be adding, kind of down more on Hydrangea Hill, because I lost my perennial grasses that when we put the bed in on that terrace garden. So we're going to add the Cheyenne Sky. I've grown this in different areas. Love this grass. It is a panicum. Does really well for us. It is going to be 3 feet tall, and you can see that it is popping back out with a beautiful new growth. So we are going to add that down on the terrace garden right below Hydrangea Hill. We are also got the plant tone, because we're going to go ahead and fertilize our Chatalpa. It is that time to do it, so we've got some of that. I also have some compost that we're going to be amending the soil with as we go through. More on that later. Now, let's talk about the alliums. So I've got 3 different alliums right here. One is, it is a great one. Everybody loves Serendipity. Serendipity is just probably, you know, Proven Winners, one of the #1 selling perennials. This is going to be 15 to 20 inches tall. I have this in the Emperor 1 bed, and she is already starting to put on some buds. Of course, we love alliums because, one, they do really well in the cool temperatures. Like this overwintered outside, and look how much growth is already on here, right? Beautiful. It is an onion. Alliums are onions. Therefore, that makes them more deer rabbit resistant. And so Serendipity is going to have what I would say within, because I've got 3 different ones here, this is going to have that medium color of purple. All right, so just kind of keep that in mind. Then we have Lavender Bubbles. Lavender Bubbles is going to have a bit of a nice, darker, richer color than your Serendipity. And this is going to be about 14 inches tall and 22 inches wide. You can tell that it has a little bit of the curl to the leaves to it, whereas Serendipity is nice and straight and upright, kind of more of a darker green. Your Lavender Bubbles has more of that blue-green texture to it. Really fun, and this is going to bloom more so in the late summer, early fall. And then last but not least, we have Bobblehead. And Bobblehead is the new allium from Proven Winners. And you can see just by the leaf structure, it is going to be the biggest and the most robust of the 3 alliums. So it's going to be a bigger size, and it blooms earlier than Serendipity. It might be a little off this year because we just planted it this year, and it's going to have a lighter color. So the flowers on it are much lighter than the Serendipity. So within these alliums, I have different heights, different bloom colors, and different bloom times. So I am just leaning in to the alliums because the rabbits last year had their way with a lot of things up here. So we're going to add these in here, and plus, of course, your alliums are huge pollinator attractors. So if you're looking to attract pollinators to your garden, alliums are the way to go. Honeybees, bumblebees, they love the blooms on the alliums. So this is a great way to support those pollinators in your garden and just have fun and say, you know, bunnies and deer, y'all can go munch in the woods. There's nothing for you to eat here. So we have that. And then the last one that we're going to add to the garden today is the new Rudbeckia from Proven Winners. This is Treasure Trove, and I have got 8 of them right here. And so these are in these quart size containers. So let me tell you about Treasure Trove. I need to stand up because my foot's going to sleep, so just give me a second here. Treasure Trove. So Treasure Trove is really fun because it is going to be big, y'all. It is going to be a nice big one. 3 feet tall, and the spacing is like 3 feet on it. So it is going to have a gorgeous presence in the garden. Of course, we love Rudbeckias because they are those black-eyed Susan, right? That's the common name for it. Great native plant here. It is large golden yellow star-shaped flowers, completely cover the habit with well-branched stems prolonging the bloom. Has a robust clump of foliage with large leaves, ensures longevity in the landscape. Also, Treasure Trove is highly resistant to the Septora leaf spot. So there you go. Now, all these plants love full sun, so they are definitely going to get full sun here. Sometimes it'll say full to part sun. With these that I'm planting, definitely the more sun, the better, right? Treasure Trove is hardy in zones 4 to 9. So there you go with that. Now, what we're going to do is, I think we're going to do first is we're going to start with the Catalpa, the El Nino. She's just right over here. We're going to prune El Nino. We're going to fertilize her. We're going to add some compost around to it. And speaking of compost, let's come over here to Johnny because this is where I have all of my supplies. Of course, I have my augers with me. I have both the 5-inch and I have the 9-inch. They're not really laid out very well. You can see them right now, but here you go. So this is the 5-inch, this is the 9-inch. The 9-inch is great for those gallons or larger. The 5-inch is great for those quart size gallon containers. That will work really well. So I just went ahead, I have 2 drills, and so I just keep them both on here because probably these are the 2 that I use the most. And so there you go, they're on there. Now what we're going to be using is, of course, the Black Gold Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix. Y'all, this is a great way to amend your soil if you have got both. Either you've got the clay soil like I do, because heaven knows this is literally probably like the worst soil that I have on my property up here on this hill. And that is because over the years, all the topsoil has just eroded off, right? These used to be woods, but they were pine trees. Pine trees are not exactly known for like great organic matter as opposed to like your hardwoods because you have all your leaves. And it was on such a slope that just naturally, this is just the way the land is, y'all. You know, over the years, any kind of topsoil just eroded completely off. So lots of red clay here. I have got to add more organic matter. So I'm constantly adding organic matter. The Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix is that beautiful combination of true compost, and so it's got some heft to it. It's a little heavy, and then it has the aged pine bark fines in it. Also, nothing up here is on irrigation, so this retains the moisture really well because it is compost. So it holds moisture. Now, it's not going to be soupy, soggy, nasty mess. It drains well. Again, like I said this before, it sounds like an oxymoron where it drains well, but it retains the moisture. So if you have clay soil like I do with no organic material in it, this is a great option. On the flip side, if you have sandy soil, like literally, I just answered a question on YouTube. Somebody said, I have these 2 different bulk compost blends available to me. Which one would you recommend that I use? So my first question is, what is your native soil like? And they said it's more on the sandy side. Well, one of those blends that they were looking at had actual sand in it. And I was like, well, you don't need any more sand. You need the one with more compost in it. So if you have sand, of course, your soil is really well draining. So you need to add that organic matter to help retain the moisture so that your plants don't constantly dry out. That's why we love this ultra outdoor planting mix from Black Gold. So there you go. So that's what we're going to be using to amend our soil today. So what we're going to do is get the camera set up, and we are going to prune El Nino, get it fertilized, and add some compost around it so that it has some good food throughout the entire growing season. All right, so here I am standing beside of El Nino. I'm not sure how much you can see of this because right now she is just some sticks, but I am 5'2", and to give you an idea, if I stand, of course I'm on a hill here, it is every bit, I would say at least 8 to 9 feet tall. Y'all, we planted this less than 2 years ago as a small 1 gallon. And my gosh, you want to talk about a fast grower. This shrub small tree is definitely a fast grower. Ideally, the time to prune it is when it starts to put out new growth. And we have got some new little leaves popping out. So that was my signal. Okay, it is time to go ahead and prune it. Now, El Nino is going to be like you could do it as a single stem small tree. I like to do it more of that multi-stem, multi-trunked tree, similar to like a crepe myrtle, right? So that's what I have done. And as it has grown, it has, pruned it. Last year, I pruned it right here. And so we have got a good 3 feet of growth on it. I want to keep it a little bit tighter so it doesn't get too long and leggy. So y'all, do not overthink this whatsoever. This is so similar to pruning a panicle hydrangea. You can see where the little leaf nodes are because there are swells. You just want to go in and prune that above one of those 2, which they're very close to each other. So no matter really where you prune it, you're going to be pruning it above those leaf nodes. We do that because when we prune it, then you're going to get either 2 or 3 stems coming off of it. Just like this one last year, I pruned it once and I got 3 nice stems off of it. If you need to limit up from the bottom, if you want to keep it more of that trunk exposed at the bottom, then go ahead and cut those off as close to the stem as possible. So I see where I had pruned it last year. So I'm going to come up above, I don't know, a little bit more and then just prune it again. That way we have nice branching on it, and it will have a nice compact canopy to it, and it won't get too long and leggy. Again, do not overthink this, my friends. Just go in there, have fun, and clean it up. It is a rapid grower. I could not believe how fast this thing has grown. So basically when you're pruning it, just kind of keep it all within that same, level of where they are. So you just kind of have an idea. Of course, the center can be a little bit taller if you want to have that nice little canopy to it, and easy as that. Your El Ninos love the heat, let me tell you. And when, again, I've told you, has the absolute worst soil ever right here, and does not care. Just a happy, happy plant. So I'm just going to keep pruning it up, and then I'm going to sprinkle some of the plant tone around the base of it, and then go ahead and take my ultra outdoor planting mix, work it in, kind of top dress on top of the fertilizer around it, and then we're done, and we can start planting these perennials. All right, friends, so you can see that she has been brought down by quite a bit. So now she is right at 5 feet. So I took probably about like 3 feet off of it. Again, I wanted to be more branching than too tall and leggy. We'll do this, until it reaches a point where we just let it go and let it have fun. Went ahead and just sprinkled that plant tone around the base of it. Same thing with the Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix. And then I just went in and kind of worked it a little bit, broke up the soil, the mulch that was underneath it. There is some mulch here. Once everything is ready to go, then we're going to come back and mulch the whole thing. But that's still a little bit a ways away. So I went ahead and just worked it in, and it is nice and happy, good to go. So I think what the best thing to do is because I don't know exactly where all these plants are going to go. So I'm just going to have some fun. I am going to figure out the placement for everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get them put into the ground. Everybody will be have some of the biotone, that starter fertilizer, great for healthy root systems. They'll have that. They'll have some of the Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix added around, top dressed to them. And then once everybody's in the ground, I'll meet you back here and we'll do a little bit of a tour, because not only to show you those things that are getting planted, but the tulips down there are blooming. I've got anemones blooming. Everything is waking up. It is such a fun time to be a gardener. So we're going to do like a little bit of a mini tour up here to kind of give you an idea of what is happening. And I'm going to tell you why I have completely destroyed the flower bed at the base of the chicken coop. It's basically all gone. I'll explain why. right, my friends, today's project is complete. Let me show you everything that we got in the ground and got accomplished today, and do a little tour of everything that is blooming and waking up in this spring garden. All right, so we're going to start kind of here on the end. Went ahead and put the lavender bubbles here. So trying to think of, you know, placement and size and color and structure. So I just thought these would be the fun right here, because we've got those touch of gold hollies. We have got the butterfly bush right here. We've got a salvia. We have got rudbeckia and echinacea all through here. You'll notice that I do have some of the little cages on. Mostly that's because those little plants are small. So just trying to keep either humans from walking on them or the dog from running through them. Everything else is kind of big, and so they can kind of stand on their own. But I just thought that would be really nice to have that little line up here because it's basically right kind of on the edge of the drive as we come up through here. So those will be a nice little addition. And then of course there in the back, you will see the 3 Platinum Beauty Lamandras. It'll be interesting to see if they survive next winter or this coming winter. Because they should get some good protection. This is north, so any of those cold winds coming in, hopefully to give it some protection. And this is a very hot spot in the garden. But I do love having them right there. Of course, we have got the daylilies over here by the little statue. Then here in the middle is, we have got a string theory Amsonia. So that'll be a fun, it too will look like a grass after it's finished blooming, completely different color and structure than the Lamandra. And so that will be really nice. And then there is a perennial hibiscus right here. It's more upright and it has dark foliage with really bright pink flowers. So that'll be a nice kind of contrast against that Platinum Beauty there. And then coming on around, we went ahead and put the bobblehead. There are 8 bobbleheads here. These were the quart-sized containers, and we put them through here. I found a Baptisia. Forgot that the Baptisia was right there. Somehow the marker went away. So they are kind of close to the Baptisia. The Baptisia did have some little sprouts coming up underneath the surface. So we'll see what happens there. That Baptisia is more of a vase-like habit to it, so it should be fine having those bobbleheads just kind of tucked underneath it. And then there is a Pugster Pinker butterfly bush here. We've got Echinacea. This is the Sombrero Mojave Orange, I believe it is. And so this will be really fun having those orange Echinacea up against those nice purple flowers of the bobblehead. So we've got those guys, and then coming on down around here on kind of, this is my main walking path. So this is how I typically come up to the garden, through the garden to the chicken coop in the mornings to, to check on the chickens and to collect eggs. So here then we have the 5 of the Serendipity right here as well. Again, keeping it low, so that's kind of a nice little step down. You've got the pufferfish here, and then you've got those Serendipity right there. It will be quite a nice little addition. We've got, of course, the sprinter boxwood back there. I've got a perennial geranium, so all of that will be nice. Speaking of pollinators, we have, the Nellie Stevens hollies right here, and there are 3 of them that come down. Well, they are they are blooming, and of course I bring the camera over here. Here's one, a sweet little honeybee. I don't know if the camera will focus on that or if she will want to have her picture taken, but there's a honeybee on the back side. There she is. So the Nellie Stevens right now are absolutely buzzing with pollinators because, oh, there's another little honeybee. So who would have thought that holly trees are a great source for pollinators? Well, guess what? They are. So those, of course, those flowers will then turn into the red berries that we have here left over from this past winter. So it's one thing that I do love so much, kind of an unexpected thing that I love about the holly trees is that they bloom and they have flowers and your pollinators go nuts over them. We have, I think, 3 different hollies kind of in this region. We have the Nellie Stevens, we have Oaklands down by the garden shed. They too will be covered in flowers. And then coming down the tree line, it's some like Christmas something, I don't know, covered in red berries during the winter. So having those different hollies certainly helps with the pollination levels on those. All right, so sidetrack, sorry about that. Now, coming down right quick. Oh, yeah, forgot this. So you will see here the 4 cages that we have here. That is the treasure trove, the Rudbeckia. Now, what I did, y'all, is because this is going to be, thinking about they're going to be 3 feet tall. By the time they get up and blooming, the daffodils, of course, will be gone. So imagine that the daffodils are not here. And so you've got them between the Oaklands, the Nellie Stevens rather, and then these are firelight hydrangeas. They're gonna be nice and big and have a good presence. So when you're standing out and looking up, you'll be able to see them. But I wanna make sure that they're nice and big and impactful. So what I did is I went ahead and put 2 quarts and planted them together in a hole. So that's why there's only 4 cages, is because I doubled them up. So there's a total of 8 plants in here. Again, went ahead and put the cages on them because while Rudbeckia tend to be very rabbit resistant, their foliage right now was pretty tender because they were in the greenhouse. And I want that foliage to harden off. I want them to get growing in case Peter and Flopsy and Mopsy decide to come along and take a nibble. They can't on these, and so that way try to give them a good head start before they the little bunnies either come back or whatever. Again, also it keeps the dog from stepping on them. So because when she gets in here, she can get the zoomies, and if the plants aren't big enough yet, she doesn't see them, and so she won't, you know, she'll still hit them. So putting the cages on them, I have them, so let's just go ahead and use them. I got these from Gardener's Supply last year, and I would recommend, if you can, because this is just the traditional, you know, chicken wire cloak, you can get an extension that raises them up. So if you have a bigger plant, it'll have like a bottom to it that just hooks onto. And then these pins. So these pins, they're like landscape pins, except they have that circle on them. And this is what, you just push it down into the ground, and then that I have 2 of them on there. And so that's what secures it. So if the rabbits come through, they can't knock it off, and the dog, if she hits it, won't mess it up either. So those are where the Rudbeckia are. And then coming on down here to Hydrangea Hill is where we put those Apache rose grasses. So I had grasses in here when I first planted the bed. They were quart size and they were extremely root bound. Y'all, they died almost immediately. I mean, it was pretty fast. So I think I put them kind of back where they belong. So they're more on the back side. So there's a 1, 2, 3, and then there's a 4th one. So they're kind of tucked in here behind the shrubs between the lower petalums and in there. And so yeah, so that will be nice. The Apache rose does not get super large. It's in that like 2.5, 3 foot tall. And so it's not like a crazy, you know, massive grass, but it does have enough good height to it. Now, some things that, because you know me, I'm all about messes and successes. We're getting ready to show you a lot of successes, but let's talk about some messes first. 1, weeds. Yes, I'm very open and honest that my garden, I battle weeds all the time, y'all. And so all this green underneath here, those are weeds. As I was planting, I was trying to get some of the weeds. I had already a couple weeks ago really weeded up at the top, but I had not been down here at the bottom. It's just a battle, y'all. We just battle weeds. Everybody does. And so I'll just have to come in here. It's afternoon now. Sun's pretty strong. It's kind of warm, so I'll wait and do this on a cooler part of the day and just come through. And yes, I just hand pick them. I just pull them up out of the ground, and there you go. So yes, there are weeds. 2, let's see, we have some dead shrubs in here. Also, I lost my Touch of Gold hollies in here. There are 3 of them, and they are deader than a doornail. I mean, they are goners. So there's 1, there's 2, and then there's 1 behind me. So what my plan is this is on my to-do list. I don't know about you, but I have a very long to-do list, is we're gonna pop these out of the ground. Will not be hard to do. Pop those out of the ground, and then I'm going to plant Firelight Tidbit hydrangea there. So we're just gonna replace the 3 Touch of Golds with the Firelight Tidbits. The reason I'm doing that is, 1, we already have Firelights behind here, so now we can have Tidbit, nice, short, petite, fantastic hydrangea. Panicle, loves the sun, nice and short, tight, compact, love, love, love it. Also, another reason that I'm going to do Tidbit is because as we pan around down here in the cottage garden, I have tidbits in that garden. So having tidbits in both the front and then behind me, that will bring some nice cohesiveness to the garden, and there you go. So that is the plan for that. The anemones, oh my gosh, y'all, they have brought me so much joy this season because this is such a hot spot. They have been blooming for quite a long time. You can see that some of them, they are already done. while others of them are nice and happy and absolutely gorgeous. So I love the anemones. They will be perennials for me. I just leave them alone. That foliage will kind of die back and all will be well, and they'll come back next year bigger and better than ever. Also, let's see, while we're up here, let's go back up and let me tell you why I've taken apart the flower bed in front of the chicken coop. So we were just here, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about how beautiful and amazing the garden was doing right here in front of the chicken coop. This is where I always have annuals. I had Ms. America mustard. I had violas. I have all sorts of cabbages in here. It was gorgeous. Well, as you know, it is in front of the chicken coop, and the girls do not free range. When we first had chickens, our first round of chickens, we let them free range. And if you have chickens or have any experience with chickens, you know they love to scratch. Like they dig, and they constantly dig in the gardens. Well, I happen to have a job that requires my gardens to look nice the vast majority of the time. So when we got these chickens, we said they're not going to free range because they will destroy a garden in less than like 5 minutes. Truly, they can destroy your garden. So what I've been doing in order to entertain them and to simulate as if they've been outside, I've been slowly pulling up the plants and giving them to the girls, which they are thrilled to have. They absolutely, all the plants that I'm giving them, yes, they're edible. They're safe for the girls to eat. No chemicals have been sprayed on them. The only fertilizer they had gotten was some plant tone, which was all safe and fine. But you can see, like today, these are the violas that I gave them today. And yes, they can eat the plants, but they're more interested in digging and going through the soil and the root system. So I try to leave as much soil on the roots as when I gave it to them, and they have had the most fun over the past couple of weeks. As I have, you can see the mustard right here in the corner, just having the best time and like really clean those roots off really good. Because before long, I'm going to be able to go ahead and plant my summer annuals in the flower bed. So I was like, well, why just, I'll keep them entertained as we go through and let them have that. And so that's what they have been doing and loving it. The Artemisia that's down here, I don't know. I may keep it. It could be a perennial for me. I may keep it. I may not. Time will tell. But for now, I'm going to leave it. I don't know that it's safe for them to eat, so we're just going to leave it in the ground. Also, a update on the David Austin rose that we planted. She's coming along quite nicely. She clearly loves being right here. This is going to be that red climbing rose. Y'all told me, those of you that have it, told me that she's vigorous, she's beautiful, and extremely thorny. So I'm like, okay, duly noted. Now, we're going to walk down here right quick to the tulips that are in the garden boxes, and we're going to go down the steps because the steps are starting to wake up. And again, real life, I need to give this area some love, but you're going to see some weeds in here. So the creeping phlox that we have, it is blooming. So we've got the creeping phlox on that side, and then we also have it down here on the other side. Also, the ajuga some of the ajuga is beginning to bloom. So we've got ajuga blooming. You can see the creeping Jenny is just doing fantastic. I love that bright pop of color right there. Some of y'all are like, it's invasive in my area. We can't plant creeping Jenny. Well, guess what? It's not invasive in my area, so yay for that. I get to have it in my garden. The ice plant, these are the new ones from Proven Winners. And yes, it is the beginning of April, and yes, they are blooming. So we have two different varieties on this side. Y'all forgive me, I don't have the names memorized. So we've got this one. I want to say this one is Razzle Dazzle, that red. And then on the other side, we have the two other colors. Oh, look, they just happen to be blooming too. So we've got more of the purples right here. And then you're going to see my shadow. Hopefully that'll work for us. There we go. that is the other one. So yes, I need to come in here, do a little weeding. I definitely need to do some mulching, do some amending. The snowdrops are blooming, so yay for that. Azaleas are starting to bloom. And then the garden boxes, they have been phenomenal. They have done everything I anticipated, hoped, and dreamed that they would do. That is what they are doing. Interestingly enough, these two boxes have bloomed first because they get the sun the most. And so you can see, especially this one back here, is starting to kind of peter out a little bit. But this is a blend that I made myself from Color Blends. I had 2 different kinds of daffodils, some jonquils. So we have this one, and then the first one basically is done. It was a small one that had like a gazillion little heads on it all at one time. She is done. Well, maybe on the others, I think on the other boxes we can look at it. The tulips are coming and doing beautifully. We had some beautiful lilac ones. We have double ones. We have pink. We have stripes. We have everything. And they are just doing phenomenal. I went ahead and planted some of the Bright Lights Osteos, kind of in that same color family as the tulips and the daffodils. So that's kind of fun. And then let's see, this is the one that has, here we go. You can see this one the best because like this is that other daffodil, right? So you can see how many flowers it has on that head. So the daffodils will be perennials for me. So I know which ones they are based off of their foliage, very different than the tulip. So the plan is once everybody is done, then I will selectively pull out the daffodils, maybe mix them some because once they finish blooming, I may not remember who exactly is who, and then plant them in the gardens. The tulips are annuals for us, and so they will be done. But man, everything is just, it has been an absolutely beautiful, glorious spring. Could not be happier with how everything is doing. Growing, blooming, and thriving. Speaking of, look at Princess Anne. Princess Anne is that David Austin. It is that standard that I got a couple of years ago. Oh my gosh, y'all, she is covered. Happy, 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 happy. This is that Firelight Tidbit, and so it is waking up, doing quite well. So we have 3 in here. We have 1, 2, and then 1 on the other end. So everybody is waking up, doing quite nicely. The end of this week is supposed to be almost 90. So there you go. All right, my friends, as always, if you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. Y'all have an amazing day. Get out in your garden if you can, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.